question for the congressman.
Okay, question is, he's mentioned he has the idealism of taxing the top 1%, those who make over $1 million per year, and any amount over that, which would be a tax raise. How do you feel this coincides with how society and people feel when it comes to this Occupy movement? It seems to be that they believe that the top 1% doesn't pay their fair share. Do you feel this will help ease the pain of Americans, especially since we have one of the biggest movements here in Portland with a lot of different opinions? And how do you go about solving this issue, and how do you think Congress can come to a resolution to appease the people who are very frustrated and feel like they have been left behind and have not been able to make ends meet, have lost their jobs, their homes, their families? What do you think about this, Congressman?
Yeah, I think that's a very good question. How can Congress be helpful in sort of taking a lot of the frustration? How Congress can help with the Occupy Wall Street movement and address the concerns.
Exactly. I think there must be a way to ease tensions, or I feel that this could get out of hand, and there's already hundreds of movements across the nation in unison, working in unison online or in social media terms. I work alongside Joe Anybody here in Portland. JoeAnybody.com has been covering the movement from the beginning, and we've seen a lot of different opinions, a lot of different demographics and backgrounds, ethnic backgrounds, and it seems like there's a central, cause or concern here between the people, and it's mainly the fact that people are kind of just giving their frustrations out, speaking in public, so they can get their message out because they feel like their voices aren't being heard.
Right. Well, Tom, I think that's a fantastic question. Making it concise so the congressman can have a chance to hear it all. And then sort of address his personal opinions, which he has been a long proponent of many of the items that have come up to the mainstream, to the Occupy Wall Street movement. So, asking, how do you think Congress can help with address the concerns of those raised by Occupy Wall Street, I think is a great question. So,
Tom from Portland, Oregon, who has a question about the Wall Street protests. Tom, you are live with the congressman. What is your question?
Hi there, Congressman Blumenauer. This is Tom Bates with JoeAnybody.com. I have a quick question. I'd like to know, Congressman Blumenauer, how you feel that the idealism of taxing the top 1% with incomes over $1 million, how do you feel this coincides with the Occupy movement and how people feel about the 1% as they feel they are part of the 99% and that the 1% isn't paying their fair share? Do you think this will ease tensions with Americans?
I think I got your question there, Tom. I'm sorry, we had a little technical problem there.
Okay.
Well, I think the Occupy Wall Street movement that we're seeing around the country expresses frustration. There may be different people there for different reasons, but there is a frustration about a certain basic fairness. When Warren Buffett points out that billionaires actually, in many cases, pay lower tax rates than the people who answer their phones and drive their cars, that it's time for some adjustment. I am intrigued that many people I know who are actually in the top 1% are comfortable with tax reform moving towards fairness. I think this is an opportunity for us to make some real progress, and it doesn't have to be divisive. But another thing that people want is to do business differently. And this is an area where I think there's some of the people who are frustrated, who were part of the Tea Party movement and the Occupy Wall Street, share some of the same biases in terms of making the institutions work better and giving better value for the tax dollar. And these are things that I hope in this next year we can come together and work on more cooperatively.
I agree.
And thank you again, Tom, for that question.
Yes, and thank you.